Hello, I'm Reverend Mike, and I'm here to answer your questions about religion. Today's topic is a combination of several related questions that I've gotten recently on how and why the Christian church split into so many fragments, so many different denominations. Most Christians know that there are a lot of denominations today, and each one has its own story, which I'll go over briefly. Because of time constraints, this isn't going to be super detailed, and it's not intended to be an exhaustive list of all the different orders and denominations of Christianity. If I missed your favorite denomination, I apologize. To really understand this topic, you have to go all the way back to around 313 AD, when Roman Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity. In the Edict of Milan, he ordered tolerance for Christianity. Before this, the religion was a secret underground organization, and you could be killed for just believing in your religion. As an underground, there were hundreds of splintered groups worshiping in secret. At that time, there was no singular Bible. There were hundreds of individual books, and each splinter group had their own ideas of which of these books were best, which of them had the best messages, which of them were the wisest, which were the most inspired by God. Some even argued on whether Joshua, Jesus, was a mortal prophet or a divine being. Constantine formed the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD to decide on the divinity of Joshua. The subsequent Council of Rome in 382 voted on which books should be gathered together to make up the Holy Bible. Various councils over the next century argued over which texts should be included as canon and which ones shouldn't. The Gnostic churches stubbornly refused to give up many of their texts and continued to use them in secret. The 24 Hebrew books were adopted into the Christian Old Testament, but their higher and more esoteric teachings, like the Kabbalah, were never added. A total of 73 books were chosen for the Catholic Bible, 46 for the Old Testament, and 27 for the New Testament. There are 14 to 15 additional books found in the Apocrypha, depending on which version you can find. The Gnostics have an additional 13 books consisting of 52 ancient texts, and their copies are the only versions that haven't been lost to history. They hid them from the main church, risking persecution to assure that those copies would be available to future generations. Except for small splinter groups like the Gnostics, the Roman Catholic Church reigned supreme. Fairly early on, the Oriental Orthodox Church split because of the Council of Chalcedon, which determined that Christ had two natures, one human and one divine. The Oriental Orthodox churches in the regions of Armenia, Egypt, Ethiopia, the Sudan, and surrounding areas disagreed with this, believing that Christ had one nature, both human and divine at the same time. Then the Eastern Orthodox Church separated from Catholicism, mainly due to disagreements over papal authority around the time of the Crusades. The Greek Orthodox and Russian Orthodox churches, which are quite well known, are part of this group, differing mainly by just the languages in which their rites are spoken. This leads me into a related viewer question. What are the difference between the different monastic orders? Why are they different? Why do they exist? What purpose do they serve today? The Dominicans, Franciscans, Jesuits, Benedictine, Carmelite, etc. These orders are all Catholic, but they differ slightly in focus. Some are more contemplative, focusing more on prayer, while others are all about active ministry. Some are hermits, while others are active in the community. Hermits were the norm until about 525, when St. Benedict founded his order based on constant prayer and work. The Cistercians split off from the Benedictines in the 11th century because too many reforms had been made to the order. They devoutly follow vows of silence and have even developed sign language so they never have to break their vow when dealing with the outside world. Different monastic orders continued to split off, each with their own interpretation of devotion to the Catholic Church, but all sanctioned by the Pope. Orders continued to form all the way into the 20th century. Most of these orders still exist, and some even fund Christian colleges to this day. In fact, these colleges often bear the name of the order that founded them. After the Great Schism that split Christianity in the 11th century, the one that split the Roman Catholic Church from the Orthodox churches, there were no major divisions until around about the 16th century. Protestantism began in 1513, formed by Martin Luther, mainly as a reaction to the abuse of indulgences, purchased atonements. At one point, you could prepay for an atonement on a sin that you hadn't committed yet. Protestantism differs in many fundamental concepts, including salvation. Medieval worship in the Roman Catholic Church centered on the Mass, prayers for lost souls trapped in purgatory. For Protestants, the idea of purgatory was an obstacle to salvation. Such divisions were inevitable with the invention of the printing press, since people could study the scriptures for themselves and study along with their priests instead of having everything interpreted for them solely by the teachings from their priests. Protestantism has splintered many times, with Lutheranism remaining the largest branch. They also revised the Bible. 66 books made it into some of the Protestant versions, 80 books in other versions. The King James Version has 80 books as well, compared to the Catholic Bible, which has round about 87 books with the Apocrypha. Many people are aware of the infamous split of the Church of England from Catholicism by Henry VIII around 1534, when the Pope would not annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, who had not produced an heir for him, so that he could marry Anne Boleyn. It was part of the earlier Protestant Reformation, but in modern times, the Church of England seems more of a hybrid between Catholic and Protestant beliefs. Other denominations such as Calvinism, Reformed, Presbyterianism, Evangelical, Anglican, Baptists, Methodists, and Pentecostals are all variations of Protestantism that differ slightly on various aspects or worship. The Quakers are a Protestant offshoot that believes that you can experience the light within because God is within all of us. Unitarianism was founded around 1784 with the idea that God was one entity instead of a trinity. Modern Unitarians, like me, often embrace the differences in religion. We respect all religions as long as they are not harmful. Versions of Judeo-Christian or Messianic Judaism have existed since the beginning, but fell into decline for centuries. It is Christianity that did not discard its Hebrew roots and traditions, and it made a resurgence in the 19th century. Newer religions, including the LDS Church, commonly known as the Mormons, founded in 1830, its founder claimed that he found another testament of Jesus in the New World. Seventh-day Adventists are a Protestant religion founded in 1863, primarily over its adherence to the traditional Sabbath falling on Saturday and not Sunday, as most Christian religions observe. Christian Science was founded in 1879 on the belief that all illness was an illusion and could be prayed away. Needless to say, don't do that. Many people practicing this ill-advised religion have died following its precepts. While I have a lot of respect for most religions, it's difficult to deal with this particular one because it kills people. Santeria is another relatively new form of Christianity, a combination of the traditional West African religion Yoruba and Catholicism, with a bit of spiritualism mixed in. This is a rare polytheistic version of Christian religion, where traditional African deities have been associated or merged with Catholic saints. The newest and probably the most dangerous of the Protestant churches are the snake handlers that started around 1910 in the southeastern United States. They dance around holding poisonous snakes, and some of these practitioners even drink small amounts of poison. Their belief hinges primarily on Mark 6:17, which reads, "And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. And they shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover." This quote is an indication of protections that those who preach in his name might enjoy, but it was never supposed to be taken literally. You're never supposed to go out and actually do them on purpose. They forget Matthew 4:7, where Joshua quotes from Deuteronomy, "You shall not put the Lord your God to the test." This clearly states that you might be protected should you come across these things. But if you intentionally seek out poisonous snakes and poisons, God will let you commit suicide. Many, many people have died in this practice. I cannot emphasize this enough. Under no circumstances should you intentionally handle poisonous snakes or drink toxins for religious reasons. And if you get sick, seek appropriate medical treatment. Do not try to pray the illness away. Do not assume that your prayers will protect you when you put yourself in danger. It doesn't work that way. Well, there you have it, a brief listing of the centuries-long series of splits in the Christian faith. Even small disagreements in faith, in the ideas of how one should worship, caused huge rifts in the religion, creating over 1,000 sub-denominations of Christianity. Thank you for watching this video. Please click like or dislike. It really helps my channel. Subscribe if you want to see more. Feel free to comment or ask a question below. Even if you just take a few seconds to say hi in the comments, it helps the visibility of my videos. Your questions might even become the subject of future videos. Be good to each other. We are all in this together.